Hey everyone, Coach Steve here. In today's video, this is a new segment for our YouTube channels. We're bringing back the exchange breakdown. I'm going to be looking at 3 exchanges from this video we've got on the screen here, and I'm going to be breaking down things that our student Logan here can do to improve and things that he has done exceptionally well. We're going to be going through 3 exchanges here, and this is from a recent tournament that he participated in, that he did quite well in. We're going to watch this first exchange at full speed. Only takes about 5 seconds, and then I'm going to slow it down for you guys, and we're going to break down the different movements, and I'm going to point out a couple things that Logan can do better and some things that he can do really, really well. All right, let's start with the first exchange, and here we go. And there's the first exchange. So let's backpedal to 1 minute, and we'll start with the slow motion replay. And Logan approaches his opponent, circles in. Now, I'm going to pause it right there. If we look at Logan's sword, this is actually a bit of a poor guard to start off in. We have a name for this at Blood and Iron. I won't say it here, but it's not a very good position for the Tog or the high guard to start in. You're very limited in what you can do, and it's just not a very good way to begin the exchange. So let's go a little further and see what happens. All right, so I'm going to pause it there. We're actually going to go back a second. Now, here we see both fighters have come in with relatively the same action. Now, if we look at Logan's feet here, they are very linear. Not a whole lot of lateral movement here, and his stance is very upright. So he's not going to have a whole lot of biomechanical structure here, which means his power is going to be reduced because of that. And his opponent here has met him with sort of the same attack, but as you can see here from the line, his back is in a much better posture, so he's going to end up with a little bit more power out of the strike. Let's see what happens. Here we have Logan in an elevated posture, and his back is actually moving backwards. So he's over his back leg, which means he's in a weaker position here, and his opponent is now proceeding laterally to the right to try and get an advantageous posture. And there is the cut that lands. Now, it's important to note here that Logan is actually cutting over his lead leg, so his cut's not going to have as much rotational power as it should have. But he does land the strike, and although the judges call it in his favor, I would then speak to him later on, and it will remind him, like, hey, you're not supposed to cut over your lead leg. You'd be better cutting over your back leg. You also notice his back foot is off the ground, not the best position to be in. But these are all things that we're working on, and Logan has come a long way. So let's move on to the next exchange. It's about 1 minute and 53 seconds. And again, we're going to watch this at full speed, and then we're going to break it down. So let's increase to full speed. All right, so there's the exchange. Pretty good lateral movement there. So here we have Logan moving laterally. Again, his feet are in a linear posture. Now, see how his head moves back as the first exchange is initiated. This is, anybody who can read human posture and human movement will identify this as a weaker position to be in. Where your head is typically denotes where the rest of your body is going to follow. Let's move on. Now, again, they come in with a clash. Now, if we look at Logan's opponent here, he's very forward in his upper body and his feet are close together. And because he's so upright, it would probably be better for Logan to take his back foot here and move it in this direction with a compass step and come around onto his opponent's head. Because his opponent is so far upright and forward, he can't adjust for this move. So let's see how it pans out. Now you can see here, his opponent barrels into him and tries to overrun him. At this point, Logan is off balance and he's basically being pushed around. And his opponents have been able to recover his balance and achieve a stronger structure. Now here, Logan is recovering from being pushed around a little bit, and his opponent, as Logan is recovering, lands a rather nice thrust. Now, this only works because of Logan's balance issue. Because his balance was off and his upper body was further back than his lower body, he doesn't have the recovery time he needs to be able to displace this thrusting line, and that's why it lands. Pretty good exchange from both fighters. Let's move on to the next one. Full speed, enjoy.
Nice.
So here we have Logan once again approaching in this shoulder-oriented Vomtog or high guard. Not a big fan of this. We'll certainly bring that up to him in future lessons. Now I want to point something else out here. If we backpedal a bit, as Logan approaches his opponent right here, we can see his front leg crosses his back leg's path. This is actually not the best habit to get into. Now, if we notice here, let's just back it up a second. Right here, we look at Logan, he's loading up weight onto his right leg. Now, somebody who's good at reading body mechanics will recognize this and understand that Logan is preparing to move in this direction. Now, this is a bit of a tell. Now, if Logan's stance was lower, it would be less apparent because he'd be more balanced and he can move explosively on this. But because he's upright in his stance right now, he has to weight down on the leg he's going to push off of. And this can be a problem sometimes. But again, it's something that's always improvable with practice and good coaching. And here he goes, moving to the left. His opponent reads this and backs up. Now, I want to point out here that his opponent, this leg right here, is now vulnerable, and Logan is actually in a very good position to capitalize on that. If he comes in with a high thrust to his opponent's face and then strikes low to the leg, because of the linear stance of his opponent and the fact that this knee is bent inward, then it can be something that is easily struck. With a good recovery, you can definitely defend the afterblow that would probably be coming at your head afterwards. Let's see what happens. Now, look at the attempt of this attack. Because his opponent's posture is the way it is, in order for him to actually throw that thrust with any semblance of threat, he has to really lean forward. And this picks his back foot right up off the ground. And then Logan defends it and comes down with a cut to the head that his opponent just isn't in a position to block properly because the stance isn't conducive of that kind of structure. It doesn't allow a good foundation for him to block that incoming cut, and that's what lands on his opponent's head. Really great exchange from Logan, really great outcome. Like that one a whole lot. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you liked today's video, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and punch that bell. Don't really punch it, just sort of click it. That'd be good enough. Big thanks to our Patreon supporters. We could not do what we do without you. As I always try to say, if you train how you fight, then you'll fight how you train.